Today we're going to try the real country style pork rib sandwich from Arby's, which is apparently coming, it says coming back. I never had it before. I don't know when it was available before, but you can see it there. You got the pork ribs on there. You got onions, beautiful onions, crispy onions. Let me try to get this a little better. Crispy onions and barbecue sauce and some cheese on the pork, but that's it. It's a simple country style pork rib sandwich. Unfortunately, it's not a simple price. $8.69 at my local Arby's, but they're overpriced. I feel like a lot of Arby's will probably be cheaper in the $7 something range, maybe even $6.99. For some reason, my Arby's is overpriced, despite the fact that I live in what should be a cheaper area where you would get the MSRP or whatever you want to call it, the suggested price. But the franchise manager at my Arby's must not like that. So let's take a look at the actual pork itself, the actual pork ribs. There's one with cheese on it. They say that they're slow roasted, like before they ship them to the store. They're slow roasted in a Texas smokehouse, which I'm in Texas, so I guess that means I'm getting the freshest ones available. Who knows? Let's give it a try. Again, $8.69 is a little pricey, but if these are good pork ribs, then maybe it'll be worth it. All right, there's good and bad with this sandwich. The first thing I want to say, though, is that it doesn't really, even though it's shaped kind of like pork ribs, I guess, it doesn't taste like pork ribs, really. What it tastes like is a pork loin. I feel like I could replicate this sandwich making a pork loin like in my oven at home that's like been seasoned from the grocery store with like barbecue seasoning, which I do all the time. Pork loins from the grocery store are great. And they're cheap, importantly, which relates to this. So you can get a pork loin at the store for like $4 or $5 a pound. So you can get like a 2-pound pork loin for under 10 bucks usually, and just put it in your oven and cook it, and it comes out great. And it's already pre-seasoned with all the seasonings and stuff, and it usually comes out fantastic. This has that taste. It very much has that taste and that texture, more importantly. It's not, the problem here is that the meat is not exactly tender. It's got an kind of overcooked texture to it. Like you can see the fibrous strands every time you like pull on it. You can see it's not very easily coming apart. It feels like it's a little overcooked, which is an odd thing. Maybe it's something that's kind of lost in the translation of, hey, we smoked this at another place and then we send it to Arby's and they probably microwave it. I don't know how else they would do it. Maybe they have some kind of oven or proprietary like heating system or like an air fryer or something. Or maybe it's sous vide, I don't know, but they reheated it at the store, and I think that might be part of the problem of why it has kind of a bad texture, even though the taste is really good. I like it, but I cannot justify the price of it. When it comes to pork, you really should expect cheaper prices. At least that's how it equates in my mind. I think of pork, I think it's cheaper. It's cheaper than beef. That's kind of the point. When you have pork barbecue, you're not paying the beef prices. That's why beef brisket is super expensive and pulled pork is usually a bit cheaper, and pork ribs are cheaper than beef ribs. And this, sorry, for $8.69 is just too much. It has a decent amount of meat on it. It had a decent amount of ribs on it. Let me open it up here. There's still 2 ribs on here, and I found a couple more in the bag at the bottom of the bag. So they definitely put enough meat on it, and it's decent taste, but I still cannot justify $8.69 for one pork sandwich. It just feels like it's a little too pricey, even though, again, the taste is not of pork ribs, it's of pork loin. It feels like, I don't want to say artificial, because I do think that they smoked it, but it kind of has a, you know, artificial smokiness taste with a little bit of garlic, and the barbecue sauce really helps. I think another thing that would really help this sandwich, because it's a bit dry even with the barbecue sauce, would be some mayo. I think some mayo on this would really kick it up a notch personally. If you like mayo, I think you probably agree. If you don't, then you know, it is what it is, but I think it's still a bit dry even with the amount of barbecue sauce they put on it, and some mayo, the creamy mayo would really kick it up, but it still would not be worth $8.69. So that's Arby's new country-style pork rib sandwich, or returning. I guess it's not technically new, but it's new for now. I guess it came out at some point. I don't know when. They also have a strawberries and cream pie, which I didn't get because I don't want to get too many desserts, but I'm sure that's good. It's a fried pie. You really can't ask for more. It's probably similar to the Popeye strawberry and cream pie, which is great. So that's there. Also, if you're interested in what's new at Arby's, they have the 2 for $7. You can get 2 roast beefs, or 2 euros, or 2 like chicken nuggets, or mix and match, or whatever. So the value at Arby's, again, is still kind of not great. I think that they need to introduce some new items that are, you know, affordable. But if you're interested in this sandwich, I really can't justify saying go try it, but if $8.69 is not, you know, too bad of a price for you, then go check it out. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I think it could be, if it was reasonably priced, I would give it a 4 because I think it's a solid sandwich. It tastes good. It's just a little bit dry and it doesn't really taste like what it says. But the overall taste itself of the meat is fine. The onions are good. The barbecue sauce is good. So again, that's Arby's pork rib or country style pork rib sandwich, and I will see you next time.